What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Texans Content Creator Spotlight. Today's an awesome one. These are my guys, man. Texans on three. There's three of them. Obviously, there's only one right now. We kind of go in order, but I'm cool with these guys. I've been in their lobby, in their chat, and we always chop it up. But first off, we got Franc Knitty. Frank, how you doing today, man?
Man, doing good, man. Shout out to everybody out there that's watching right now. Definitely shout out to you, Stressers, man. Like you say, we go way back in this Texans content creator thing. Been doing it for a couple of years now on our end. And man, you always came through and showed love. And what I'm saying, we've been out to some of your events and everything's always popping, you know what I'm saying? I always tell you all the time when I first heard your name, I was like, man, that was unique. But I just want to say something real quick too. That intro was dope, man. I'm talking about that is super dope. I'm sitting up here looking at that like that, man, that helmet was like for real. Like we got to get one of them made for real.
Like my buddy made it for me. I'll see what he can do for you. I didn't make it.
That's actually dope. I probably can replace that helmet that I got back there. But yeah, man, it's this, this Texans content creator thing being on this road for a while and having guys like you to come in and give us a hand and bring in some new faces and stuff like that, bro. It's been a blessing. Definitely not stressing when it comes to that. We've been blessing on that. So man, I just thank you. I'm glad to be here tonight, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like that's kind of what I've enjoyed the most doing this for a year and a half. I'm not sure how long it's been. It hasn't been that long, but is meeting people like you. Like I consider you a friend as well as P.A.T.T.O.N and Cal.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
We've spent a lot of time together online with dialogue on shows, chopping it up. Like I've been on y'all's show before, but that's like been my favorite part is getting to meet new people and y'all's show in particular. I love like. It's just a laid back vibe. Like I feel like I've been friends with y'all. It's like it's just
that's how we try.
Off the cuff. Yeah,
yeah, that's the vibe we try to bring. That intentionally. We know that it's a lot of passion for the team in the city, and just going through. I've heard that going through sometimes traumatic experiences can bring people closer together. So, definitely being Houston Texans fans, I think we are a very close-knit community because we go through a lot just watching that team, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's going back to your name. I think that's why your name resonated so much throughout the community because it was a demonstration or an example of how we all feel when watching the game. It's like sometimes the Texans way of football is just not an easy thing sometimes. I can't wait till we start winning games by 20 and 30 points even maybe, but yeah, it's a stress.
I thought that was going to be, we talked about on your show, like we all thought like this time last year talking about this, this upcoming season that just happened, like after the draft and free agency, like, oh, it's about to be finally young team. They're going to take that next step and start putting opponents away. And like we talked about, stop playing with your food, but that obviously wasn't the case. So like,
no,
I'm
it was
still
serious.
Optimistic it can happen, but I think we all kind of like, had to take us. We kind of got humbled. Like we were all on that hype train,
You know what? And it's crazy that you say that. And I don't think we really talked about that much as a community, but I believe a lot of us were humbled last year, man. A whole lot of us, bro. It was like you say in that off season. Last year off season was one of my favorite off seasons ever because
crazy,
like all of us as Texans content creators, we kind of found our stride. And we were talking big, like we kind of knew what this team was gonna do.
You couldn't blame us though, man.
No, you couldn't blame us because on paper it was great. I'm talking about you could tell that we were gonna make some noise, and we end up going 10-7 and still making the playoffs, which is not shabby because I'm pretty sure fans of other teams would be like, hey, I would rather be in the Texans shoes than be in the Colts shoes. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like, you know what I'm saying? We got humbled, but I think that this year is even better. And not to try to jinx it or anything, but I think having that new the coordinator and knowing how he's gonna mesh well with CJ, because there's a lot of different things. Like if you pay attention, CJ always talked about being he always loved that Rams offense. Like he just loved how it was running over there. And I always, in the back of my mind was like, I wonder why that is, you know what I'm saying? And now he's in that. And I think that, just real quick to touch on the O-line situation, because I talked about it on the show. I think the O-line culture, this is what I'm really looking forward to this year, is the O-line culture, because those guys that we brought in, the Ingrams, the Tomlinson, and Trent Brown, that's different from what we've seen as Houston Texans fans. We
Yep.
haven't really, just like, this probably will be one of the most aggressive lines that we done had probably since the
Dogs.
Kubiak times. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking real forward to that offensive line, because those guys are cut from a different cloth. There's a reason. I'm not saying that there's a reason that we haven't had guys like that, but we haven't had guys like that. So my eyes is just like, and some people say, oh man, these are bag ups or whatever, but it's the culture. It's what they bringing in. It's that mauling. It's that seriousness of coming from over there, like Tomlinson, being with the Jets, Seattle, San Francisco. We know that those are teams that are known for having certain type of line play. And I'm looking forward to moving the defense back in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? Because instead of us getting impaled, pause, as our but
Well,
yeah,
it's like the inverse of last year. I mean, like, okay, like who cares if they project to be a backup? Last year we projected to have all these damn starters, a highly paid, highly drafted, and look how it turned out. So I mean, and like kind of like your point now, like not only is it mentality that's different, but it's also the fact that like, you know, we had all of our O line returning for this year who didn't play last year, and they had no competition. Like there was no depth. So it's like, hey, this is your job. There's no one to push you. So like, and it reflected that way. Like from the product that we saw in the field is like they were entitled, they got their job, they weren't worried about losing it. And so now it's the
exactly.
opposite. So you went from, entitled, sitting pretty comfy to now like hungry and like scrappy people. I'll take
Yeah,
that all day, bro.
all day. And that's what's got me excited. It's like you say, those guys were entitled. We had invested a lot into the offensive line. I know it threw a lot of people for a loop when we traded Tunsil. And I was telling a lot of people around me in my circle, I was like, man, that was what we needed. Because when you have somebody that's like you can't have an O line. Put it like this: I'd rather have an O line with five uh not I'm not gonna say average, but I'm gonna say above average guys than
Mhm.
having one guy that's like,
Yeah.
oh, he's all pro, this and that, and then
The
everybody
collective
else just
unit, bro.
falling off. Yeah, that's what we've been missing. So I guarantee you that we're going to be more of a collective unit this year. I think that it's man, I just can't wait to. And I've never really just watched O-line play like that closely until this year. Just seeing how CJ got sacked 52 times, it was ridiculous, and we know what type of quarterback he can be. I still believe in what we saw in his first year. I still think he's an elite talent. And I think if you give him, time, that hey, he's gonna go back to being what we've seen him, putting those balls in certain places, pause. And it's gonna be it's gonna be a great season, man. I just can't wait to see how it all pans out in this draft. This draft is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it is funny too. I think we kind of tend to think alike overall, but like it's funny how people like happened to forget who CJ was and how he was getting questioned, like, in these factors. You forget about all these, circumstances, and you watch the Super Bowl and Mahomes gets pressured for once in his life and has one of the worst performances we've seen ever, much less in the Super Bowl. And they go back and like the amount of time that he was pressured in that game was still less than the average that CJ Stroud was pressured the entire
Hey,
season.
when I
So it's like,
read that stat, I think you posted that. I was like, "Oh, that was a dope stat," because I was
thank
like,
you.
that shows that
How
CJ
good
is like
CJ played, man.
exactly in fire. You know what I'm saying? So you put him in a comfortable situation, dude is gonna be lights out, man. I just really do think that CJ is gonna be back on this top five, you know what I'm saying,
For
and playing
sure.
like he's all like we know for him to play. And I just can't wait to see what Kaylee does with this offense.
Yep.
One thing I love as a Texans fan is when we get a new OC. One thing
Mhm.
about us as Texans fans, we are very keen at watching offenses. I don't know if they just come with how we look at the game, but we are very keen at can tell, okay, this offense is getting stale. They running the same plays all the time. Like Texans fans are keen on that. We always locked in on that offense, and I think that what Kaylee is going to bring in this year, I just love watching something new. And what I don't feel, and I want to ask you this question. I don't feel like this is a any kind of a rebuild. You know what I'm saying? This is I feel like our window is still wide open, and I actually
For
think
sure.
Haley comes in and enriches what we got going
Mhm.
on. This is not something where like, oh man, we got a new OC, so everybody got to learn new terminology and everything. You know, I just think that this is a plus. Like we're just gonna be better.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, like, and like the things that we talked about, like, with Slowick was like, the offense getting stale. Like he wasn't dynamic. He didn't adapt. He didn't adjust. He ran the same shit no matter what every time, So like, and the things that like we all as fans, acknowledge like that was an issue, not adapting or adjusting to your opponents, to your personnel, like, running an offense that fits their skill sets. Listening
Yeah,
to D'Amico talk about it at the presser, that was his parameters too. And when Kaylee talked, like everything that you heard, like matched up what we wanted. Like they were aware of this, you know, inability of Slowick to adapt, and so he found what he didn't like in Slowick and said, "I want that in my new OC," and this new OC fits that, and it's a good thing. So,
yeah. It's like when
yeah, I
you
mean, the window's wide open, bro. I
Yeah,
mean,
when you hear
uh,
McVay talk about how fiery he is as a coach, he like McVay is gonna miss him, and I just think that having that type of fire, that type of how can I say, willing to be, you know, like I think he's gonna be more like
energy.
I'm finding more energy with the players, like they're gonna feel that because I
Yeah,
think Bobby kind
vocal
of comes in
leadership. I mean, like the O line,
exactly.
like the play, like all the mistakes we saw, like seemed to be coaching and verbal, like, and they weren't physical. Like it was all mental. So it's like, all right, well, like the message isn't getting across somehow. And so who's in charge? I mean,
And I'm definitely can't wait to see what he does with the tight ends because I know tight
yep,
ends is his specialty. So I just while we was just over there at AD show, shout out the rundown.
yep. Shout
Somebody
out
in
to
the
rundown.
comments, somebody said something about maybe trading Schultz during the draft or anything like that. I know we, as of right now, it wouldn't make sense because of his contract unless somebody
Yeah,
made some kind of crazy deal that we just couldn't turn down. But I don't see that happening. But I'm excited to see if he stays. I'm willing to, I'm excited to see what Katie can get out of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think
yeah,
that, him working with tight ends the way that he's worked with, I mean, one of the best that he's probably worked with was Gronk, but seeing how the tight ends were with the Rams last year, they were pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And I think they run a lot of double tight end sets where you have both tight ends can catch passes. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I'm excited to see what Jordan is going to bring because I know he's
Hmm.
going to bring another element to Jordan's game, and maybe another tight end in the draft. QT, I think is he still on the team?
He's gone.
Oh yeah, okay. I would man for so many years I've been waiting for him to break out, but hey, that
Yeah,
injury it's his
he
injury
had a horrible
plague
injury
is
bug, man.
yeah, it's just been horrible. But yeah, other than that though, man, and just to speak on the defense for a second,
Yeah,
um,
go for it.
that defense is gonna be lights out. And like I said, the linebackers is probably if we had to pick a weakness, I would say that whenever we talking about their defense, we always wondering what we're gonna get from the linebacker position. None of us know for sure about Christian Harris and his situation. At least I don't know yet. Maybe you know something. Have you heard anything about his situation?
I mean, I've just been pointing out that like I could see us moving on from him and people get mad at me, but like they're thinking emotionally and I'm just thinking logically based off of what I've seen from them. So I mean, I'm not saying that I know that, but like I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded during the draft or cut at some point in time. I mean,
Marketing
um,
wise, you could be absolutely right because most of the time when the team can feel or I could say the PR of the team can kind of feel the pulse of the fans and us as fans, we all over Twitter everywhere, and we talking like, hey man, we don't know about Christian Harris, and is he good? And I know they hear this, and most of the time when they can put their posts on, what the fans are saying, you will start to see stories or different things come out that will kind of ensure you that, oh no, they running with this player. You don't see that. You don't see that with Christian Harris. You don't see anybody just stamping that he's gonna be here. So I'm kind of with you, man. I'm in the air. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. That injury, like, man, it's got to be serious. Like Swan was saying on the other show, Mrs. Swan, shout out her. She was saying that.
Shout out Swan.
Yeah, she was saying that that maybe it's. I mean, no, she said that it's a tear or something like that, and that it probably takes a year and a half to heal or whatever. But I don't know.
So my thing on that is like I'm looking at it from their lens, like Nick Caserio and D'Amico Ryans, we've seen with injuries from all of our players. They take time to get guys back from an injury. They're the last, staff to rush a player back. So like when he was back, he's back. Like I get you can say like he loses effectiveness, but like he was healthy. So like people keep making this argument like, well, like wait till he gets healthy. Like, he played 5 games. Like what are we talking about? Like he just got outplayed, bro. He got outplayed by Henry To'oTo'o. And the first 2 games he played, he started because Aziz was out. And so Henry played Mike and he played, the Will or the Sam. Mm-hmm. And then once Aziz came back, he was out of the rotation. Like, there was that last week against the Titans, which was a rest game, and he didn't play. So we're like, okay, we're all thinking, okay, we're resting him to save him for the playoffs. And then come playoffs, he was a special teamers, bro. Like he played all special teams. Like, so like that's where my logic has come from. Like I'm going off what I see the coaches telling us. Exactly. And then you fast forward to the offseason. Well, then, and you look at the numbers, like just from like, if you just go through the roster financial wise, like if you needed to free up cap space, his contract made sense as far as like savings and, how much dead cap and how much savings. And just from that perspective. And then fast forward to us having rumors of wanting to trade or sign Dre Greenlaw. It's like, well, shit, we run a 4-2-5, like 80-90% of the time, only 2 linebackers. Mm-hmm. We already have 3 or 4, and now we want to add Dre Greenlaw. So like, what would happen there? Yeah, and then we kind of forgot about it. So they told us, and then we signed EJ Speed, and we're all like, oh, that's crazy. That like, no, they tried to tell us like, hey, we're trying to get another linebacker. And so EJ Speed plays the same position. And people want to say he's like a special teamer's backup. Like, bro, like he's been a starter for 2 years and he had a shitload of production. Like, and the way his contract is, it's all like incentive based off performance of starting numbers, Pro Bowl escalators. Like that's not stuff that you do for a player you have no expectations for. So that's I'm
expecting something big from Speed this year. So I believe all of those points you just made really, and a lot of them you just enlightened me on, that really does kind of point to, hey, that bro might be out the door.
And then you couple that with the fact that like, okay, we've all had this narrative, which there was support for, about D'Amico being a loyal guy and too nice and all this and that. But like after that KC game, like that dude flipped the switch, bro. Like, okay, you had your first 2 years and he saw us lose when we could have won. And like ever since then, he fired Bobby, he traded LT, he cut Shaq, he traded Kenyon Green. Like this dude ain't playing no more, bro. Like, like he doesn't care. Like everyone's attached to this. My opinion is that video, which I'm a fan. Like this is me not saying I'm not a fan of him, but like I feel there's an emotional aspect to this. Like Christian Harris really hasn't played good overall. Rookie year was bad. More than first half of his second year under D'Amico, first year under D'Amico. Was bad until like the later part of the year. And then it goes back to that viral mic'd up moment when he taught him to play against the Browns and he did it. And it was like that special moment. And so people kind of have that in their heads. It's like, but we haven't seen that,
You're right. Like until that moment, we all were looking at Christian Harris a certain way. He makes that play. We like, okay, his trajectory is going up.
Yes.
Like and it didn't. It's like he didn't. I don't know. Like I'm totally with you on that one. I don't think that. It's still the judge. I mean, it's still the jury is still out in deliberation on him because he hasn't made just consecutive plays that will make you be like, as a fan, like, man, if we lose him, oh man, it's gonna be bad. You know what I'm saying? So
he's only got 1 year left on his rookie deal too. So like, if you don't plan on extending him next year, you see it all the time. Proactive, forward thinking, Kenyon Green. You might as well move off from him now and get something in return rather than wait. Get nothing out of him, and then he's just gone, So, I mean, there's a lot of
Exactly.
layers to it. And I say all that not to like say I don't want him. Like this is to me to say why I see that they could move on from him. That's it, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we kind of did this backwards. I first like to start out and like get to know you guys. We just kind of dove right into ball, but
Oh, okay, my bad.
um,
But you
no,
know that's
you're
what
no,
we
you're
do. That's
good.
what
So
we
I'll,
do
I'll
all the
part off.
time.
Yeah, I mean, we were just like, shit, it's been a minute. Let's chop it up.
Hey,
But yeah, I'll get like a little bit of a background on you, and then kind of tell us the podcast, shout out your stuff. I got a ticker in the bottom with the handles, and then
mhm.
after you, I got Cal in the lobby. I see him kind of going in and out. I'm not sure if he's having trouble with his camera or not, but I'll try to bring you up next, Cal, if you're listening, and if it works, cool. If not, I can go to Patton and give you more time. But I want to ask you, like Frank, like kind of give me a background about yourself. If you want to include personal stuff, like I know you're
Mhm.
like a producer and make beats and stuff too, so that's pretty dope. But
Mhm.
mostly Texans. If you wanted to talk about fandom and
Well, I'm a start out a little personal because a lot of people know me from the personal side as far as like I started out I think I was like maybe 15, 16. I had signed a contract with Rap a Lot Records and part of a group called the Fifth Ward Juveniles. And we put out an album called Deadly Grounds and did pretty good. We hit the Billboard. We did we was on I'm talking about MTV, VH1, anything that you can name. We were actually signed to Rap a Lot / Virgin Records. So we actually had a pretty good, you know what I'm saying, showing out there. We and so from that, I think I did another album with Rap a Lot. And then once I left Rap a Lot, I started to do my own thing. And so I'm doing now, I run a studio. I still produce music for a lot of artists in Houston. As a matter of fact, one time I was on with you and my guy Killa had came in.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I record with a lot of people, man. Anybody who's making noise in Houston, them pretty much I done work with. And other than that, though, me as a Texans fan, this all started 2002 when the team was first announced. Um, I remember, you know what I'm saying, the game with the Houston Oilers against the Bills in 93. And I thought I would never want to watch football again. I remember when the Oilers left and I wasn't even mad. Like I was like, hey, good riddance. But I'm gonna be honest though, right? You don't miss nothing until it's gone. And
Hmm.
when we got rid of the Oilers, that drought that we didn't have football here in Houston, it was pretty hard. It was crazy. I didn't realize that because, like I say, I didn't care that the Oilers left. But when they were gone, and then seeing them in Tennessee and seeing them go to the Super Bowl, it was just crazy. So, when the Texans came, um, man, it's just it was a good thing. And like I say, this is why I love your name because ever since I've been watching the Texans, it's been a stressful situation.
Yep.
I've never seen a team lose in some of the ways that I've seen the Houston Texans lose. We used to do this thing where when everybody would come on the show, we would always say, what is your greatest Texans moment and what is your worst? And I would always say that my worst was that game where we were playing Jacksonville and Jacksonville was on the 50-yard line with
Hmm.
seconds left. And David Garrard was their QB at the time. And David Garrard just threw this Hail Mary that you just knew like the game was pretty much over with. And Glover Quinn went up and he knocked the ball into the other guy. I think his name was Mike Thomas for the Jaguars, their wide receiver. He knocked it right into his hand in the end zone. It was the most
Insane.
heartbreaking loss. And I didn't know that there was many more to come after this. I didn't know it was so many more but those losses have made me so passionate about this team and the turnaround because every
Hmm.
time, like I still have pictures in an old phone of when the Texans went to their first playoffs and they came. When they won in Cincinnati, they came back to
Yep.
Houston and D'Amico and T.J. Yates. Everybody had on the divisional T-shirts and they was waiting outside to talk to everybody. I still have some. I'm gonna share those pictures on the show one day, but I still go back and I look at those things and I just look at how far, we've came as an organization, as a team to where, you know, the whole league used to hate on us. Like, cause still to this day, whether people know it or not, we little brother, we are still the youngest team in the NFL.
Yep.
And you know, a lot of people look at us as little brother, and really the NFL loves to see us make mistakes so they could be like, look, there go those Texans again and this and that. But we've been able as a fan base and a team to become more competent. We are a more competent team now. We're more competent than we ever been, especially what you just said about D'Amico and how after this season he's seen what we could have done. And he didn't say, hey, let's run that back. He said, oh, no. We had the opportunity right there. And we missed out on that. And we need to feel that. We need to actually absorb the fact that we were right there and we wasn't able to do what we needed to do. So he went and he made some great changes. And like now, man, I'm like I say, this is the most competent that the Houston Texans have ever been. This is the greatest time to be a Houston Texan fan. And that's why I got into the content creating part of it, because of my passion. And like I say, meeting guys like you, meeting guys like AD and Ruben, and it's a lot of people out there that's just doing great things, man. And it's just makes this community strong, man. And just like here on this show, man, I appreciate you bringing us on. I'm pretty sure all the other guys are gonna let y'all know, and plus it's already at the bottom of the screen. But man, y'all make sure y'all follow Texans on 3. Keep on checking up on one of the #1 content creators in the Texans community, and that's Houston Stressings. It's consensus. It's we all agree, you know what I'm saying? Nobody kind of puts in as much work as you do, man. Like, we
probably
always
too much.
And that's the thing. Like, you doing that, it's made you a go-to. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like one of those things where you, like Adam Schefter, like you can see him post something and you just got this first, like, hey, it's got to be true, it's got to be real. That's how it is when I come to your content. I know it's going to be true. I know that you're going to give a real opinion. It's not going to be fake based on what everybody thinks. You're going to say what you really feel, and that's authentic. That's authenticity, and we really enjoy that from you, man. And like I say, I appreciate you having us on the show. Y'all can follow me also through the Texans on 3 on X or on Instagram, but my personal page is official Mr. Slim 777, and that's Slim with 2 M's and 777 after that. And I think on X is Supreme Beats, and that Supreme is spelled kind of uniquely. It's SUPREEMBEATZ LLC. So you can get at me on there if you got any kind of studio, anything, because we mix, we master, we produce, we work with everybody in Houston, man. It's pretty dope, from all the way to the OGs to the young cats, man. And like I say, bro, if anytime you need me or anything, just let me know, bro, and we there all the time, bro. You already know what it is. It's love.
Man, that's love, man. I appreciate the kind words, and that's kind of what I've aimed to do, is just try to be a one-stop shop. I know people don't have like the time and the ability to do all that, curating and stuff, and so that's kind of my goal. I'm already doing it myself. I might as well take the extra step to, make it easier to be a fan. But I enjoy talking to you. I'll have to come on you guys' show sometime, and yeah, if y'all need some beats or some studio time, man, hit up Frank. He's the best in the business, baby.
Hey, man, I'm trying to tell you. I appreciate that, man. And bro, we'll be getting with you soon. And if it depends on how long these other guys go, I'll be here at the end. But if not, man, I'm gonna talk to you soon, man. And it's always love, Stressings, man. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Frank.
Most definitely.
All right, Frank. Yeah, whenever you're ready, you can just exit, and then I'll get Cal on here. I mean,
okay, that's a bet. Let me see, how do I do this? Oh,
yeah,
okay,
it should be in the top right.
Okay, I got you, bro. That's a bet, man.
All right, brother. All right, let's get Patton, my bad. You're up next, Patton, after Cal. That was an accident. What's up, Cal? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, man? I kept hearing a lot of background noises. That's why I kept going in and out. So it seems to be pretty clear right now.
Yeah, I see you, and I know earlier you couldn't see yourself. Is everything good?
Yeah, everything's great, man.
Okay. Well, yeah, man, appreciate you coming on. For those listening, this is Killa Cal. He's another piece of the Texans on 3 podcast. I mean, he's been on, since I've been on Twitter, Texans Twitter. He's been very active. I've had a lot of interaction, dialogue with him. So he's just another diehard, passionate fan like us. But yeah, so I'll just kind of lead off. I messed up with Knitty. We kind of started talking ball right away, but I'll start off with the introduction and, ask yourself to kind of, give us a little info about yourself, whether you want to go into personal or not, but, kind of mostly just make sure and highlight, your Texans fandom and how you've gotten to what you do now.
Oh man, my fandom for H-Town sports go way back to the Mike Renfro catch that wasn't a catch in 1979. Like, me experiencing heartbreak in Houston has been crazy. I mean, we just watched U of H just lose a heartbreaking game. I watched them in the Final Four for 3 years. I watched the Oilers blow the 35-3 lead. I watched them blow the lead to Kansas City with Joe Montana quarterbacking. I watched them blow the lead 10-0 with Jerry Glanville as the head coach, and we run a behind the line of scrimmage screen called a stagger lead and give them the ball, and we end up losing that playoff game. Like, I've seen a lot. The great thing is being able to see the 2017 and 22 Astros, 94, 95 Rockets, but this is the one, like, football has been the sport that I need to see a championship before I leave this earth. Like, I mean, we saw what
football's king, bro.
Man, Houston is like, when we won that Rockets championship, that was the first time that we just had, the whole city was like, everybody was just integrated. It was just nothing but love for a long time. A lot of people celebrating on Richmond, but on my side of town, on Homestead and Tidwell on the northeast side, we were celebrating over there. So it was just celebrations all over the city. Then we came back and did it again. So being able to see legends like Nolan Ryan, Earl Campbell, Elijah One, like, those are my legends that's, pretty much raised me in the game as far as loving Houston sports. So right now I'm at this point, man, we have a head coach, first 2 years, win a division, 10-7 in the playoffs, and listening to you and Knitty talking earlier, like, D'Amico is not here to play. Like, it's no longer the nice guy with the smile on the sideline, the enthusiastic. Like, okay, like, no, we're gonna get this defense better than what it is, but it's unacceptable what I see on that offensive side. So I think that you're going to be able to see, and this is me transitioning from the fan that seeing heartbreak and seeing championships, 4 championships. Hey, let me not shortchange the 4-time back-to-back Houston Comets. So
back to back, like the Comets.
Hey, they got a comment. Shout out to ESG. Hey, that was
ESG, yeah.
Yeah, but man, like, this is a football city, and I don't think that we're too far away. We had a championship defense last year. I truly believe. The crazy part about it is we averaged 21.9 points a game on offense, and we gave up 21.9 on defense. Ooh. So we were just like even keel on both sides. But if you looked at us on the field, the defense statistically was a top 10 defense. The offense statistically was bottom third. So my thing is, I'm looking for, Kaylee and Popovich to come in and just pretty much implement their DNA into that offensive side of the room, that line, tight end, like everything. D'Amico just wants to coach defense. Yep. And he wants the offense way on the other side of the building where, nobody is like, if I'm a teacher, my wife is a school teacher. She has the ability to coach her class. But if the students have to go to the principal going to look at my wife like, okay, why do they keep coming to the office? What are you not doing? And I think that's what D'Amico wants to do. D'Amico wants to concentrate on what he loves the most.
Yep.
Let Caserio go ahead and get the ingredients for the buffet that he's about to cook up, and let Nick Caley do his thing. I really think, man, I'll put it out there.
I agree with everything you're saying. This is awesome.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, like I'm going to tell you, if this offense is anywhere ranked between 12 and 8, just go ahead and put us in the in
the bowl.
Put up. I'm not the game before the Super Bowl. I'm drawing a blank.
The AFC Championship.
AFC
Championship. That's our goal, right? We need to get there first. We've never been there.
If you win 2 playoff games in the division round, your next goal have to be the AFC Championship game. And I don't want to.
D'Amico's aware of it too.
Right, and I don't want to get there and lose. Like, get in there and lose.
Yep.
To me, that's kind of almost like a participation trophy. Oh yeah, we got there. Yeah, it's the first time we ever got there as Houstonians, and hoorah. Nah, that defense was good enough to beat anybody over there in AFC. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I predicted us going to the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, so I was pretty optimistic too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stand on that because I think that we're going to be better offensively. We're going to be more focused. And the number one thing that they really wanted to concentrate on is giving CJ protection. And that's the main thing. Like, if I'm gonna give you an example. You went to the car lot and you just bought I don't know how much they run, but I'm just gonna say a $210,000 Maybach Mercedes. If you bought a Maybach Mercedes and you drove off that lot without full coverage insurance, I'm just gonna look at you and shake my head. I equate that to having to sign. You got to sign CJ to a 5-year, $300 million contract. The insurance policy is to keep him on his feet with the offensive side, and for us giving him weapons offensively and giving him an offensive line to protect him. So that has to be the priority of what the Texans their focus is going to be. I think they probably make maybe 1 or 2 picks on the defensive side, but I think everything is going to be concentrated on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I agree with that. And like, just, to rewind first, like, I love how you you made me like realize something too. Like, I'm 36, so I know a lot of people are different ages on Texans Twitter, and that's what I like too. We got, people my age or younger or older, but you kind of put things into perspective when you talked about going through all these times of heartbreak, the Final Fours, the Oilers moments, like. And so it kind of helps people that didn't really like, I was kind of young. I was born in 88, so I missed a lot of that. So I just hear about it. But like, you being weathered and like having gone through this, like, you have a different perspective and lens, having seen things in the past. And so like we, us younger fans that didn't see that can kind of learn from that. So, and to your point too, and this is kind of how me and Frank ended on ours, was all this heartbreak that has happened leading up to this point is making where we are and where we will hopefully eventually go into getting to and winning the Super Bowl that much sweeter. So I think it's a good perspective. And then just as far as like everything you're saying, like, I agree. I've been saying it like all last year. We have a Super Bowl caliber defense, and if our offense was just marginally better, they would, have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, we saw it against the Chiefs. Like, we shut down the Chiefs. All we needed was just one offensive possession. We were right there. And yeah, I mean, we're not far off. And to your point too about the offense and defense, like defense being way better, like those stats are also skewed because defense was like balling, dude. Like, just think of the Lions game, 5 turnovers, and you still go 3 and out, or you don't score off on short field. So I mean, I think it was even a bigger disparity, but because the stats of the offense sucking so much, it made the defense, if you look at it on paper. So I think we're kind of on the same page. It sounds like you're optimistic as well.
5 turnovers, then you go to Detroit and you get 9 sacks. Like, that's to me, your defense was, it could have been one of the most legendary defenses that our city ever seen. But I think D'Amico wants to fall into that category of being one of the most dominant defensive play callers. Like
that's not to mention too, like if we like the Green Bay game, but like if we actually, if offense didn't suck, like a lot of those games would snowball. Like it's the whole, you get the opposing offense on their heels, and they start, throwing the ball and pressing, and then you now have this elite pass rush. Like that's like this games where that can get out of hand. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, it was just that I really think that like D'Amico is like a lot of people. I can't say what people get fooled by, but he has that nice demeanor. He has that smile on his face. Dude was a second-round pick from Alabama and came in being a team captain his rookie year. Like, J.J. Watt was like the first time in the huddle with him, and it's just like everybody automatically knew. Andre Johnson said the same thing. Like everybody knew that this guy was focused. This is at 22 years old. So you fast forward almost 20 years later, and he finally get a chance to be the captain of his own ship. The first 2 years is always going to be a learning experience. Man, they're going to be so attention to detail that they're not going to make a lot of mistakes. And a lot of people are going to be held accountable. But what I love about this team is you have, like, let's just focus on the defensive side. You have two cornerbacks right now, whether you agree with PFF or whatever, you follow them or not. Regardless, is everybody is judged the same. And PFF told us that those two guys are the best tandem of cornerbacks that's in the league. You have another safety that you get that he had 6 interceptions last year, CJ. Now you can use Petrie as the wild card and the joker. I call him the joker. You can use him however you want to. Whether, and he plays great in the box. He was Baylor's Big 12 Player of the Year in that whole conference. And then you have your rookie Bullock. Bullock playing side by side with Gardner. That's going to be like school is in session in real time.
Yep.
Like Bullock had 4 or 5 interceptions as a rookie last year, or was it?
Could have had more too.
Yeah, he could have had more. Now you have a guy that you can run double high safety. You can bring Gardner down in the box. You can play all types of games, and I think that secondary is solidified. I think another position. I mean, not position, but the part of weaponry. If Nico Collins plays 17 games, I think he's a top 5 wide receiver in the league.
He already is, in my opinion, regardless. But yeah, stats-wise,
I believe that. I'm the fan of Nico Collins. I'm the fan club president. I've been screaming for 2 years.
Love it.
The way Joe Mixon been running that ball. If you telling me that Joe Mixon can't be a top 10 running back next year, I would argue that. And then you have CJ that can be potentially a top 5, and if he's protected, he can be top 3. So I have a top 5 wide receiver, a top 10 running back, a top 5 quarterback. All I have to do is protect him, and I have my other weapons that I can add in, and you get the chemistry and everybody buying in, mandatory, voluntary mini camps, getting that chemistry together. By the time September roll around, you need to be on that fast start. Like, we need to see, regardless of who the schedule is, we need to see like a 3-1, 4-0 start. Get up out of the gate, get the chemistry together, get the confidence down, and let's just go ahead and take care of this thing. Because I think, man, it's our side on the AFC to just win it all, man. I really believe that.
I agree. I mean, like maybe the Ravens, like I feel like the Chiefs are like going a different direction. I felt like the Bills were they were good, but I feel like they were kind of overvalued. Like, I mean, you saw how we played against them with the healthy defense, and we made Josh Allen look terrible. So I agree, man. Like a lot of stuff.
After 30, 119 yards, 130 yards. It was something ridiculous.
And a big reason, obviously being at home, but like to your point, Jalen Petrie, bro, like I don't know where you sat on that, but like to me, it was like a no brainer to sign him to an extension. I feel like he is like the piece that really unlocks D'Amico's creativity. Like you call it the Joker role, I call it the star role, but I feel like he's a big reason why in that game. So what are your thoughts on the extension of Jalen Petrie?
I love it because number one, you don't draft a guy that still has the trajectory that's rising up in your defense. Like we've only seen Jalen a couple of games the way D'Amico wants to use him. So you drafted him in the second round? You drafted him in the second round. You give him a contract early, get ahead of the curve. Because if Petrie would have went out there this year, and let's just say Petrie had 5 interceptions, 5 sacks, 3 fumble recoveries, a couple of touchdowns, and just all over the field. He would have wrote his own check, and we would have been saying, well, why we didn't pay him?
20 mil, bro. That's what I was saying.
So when you have 5 guys in your secondary that's solidified, that that you can roll out. I didn't even say nothing about Jimmy Ward yet.
Yep.
If he's healthy, he's going to be a rotational piece with him and Petrie. It depends on how D'Amico want to scheme it. But you have 5 guys in your secondary that D'Amico can say, hey, this back end is going to be sold up. And as long as I'm comfortable with that contract with Petrie, because Knitty was saying earlier, after this year, we know what Caserio do. He's going to go back to the books, fast forward some of that money to Petrie, rework that contract, and whoever needs a contract next, it's just going to kick the can down the road. But that's a guy that you really need, because I think that on 3rd and longs, if I have him on the field healthy and I have Christian Harris on the field healthy, those are 2 guys that can rush the quarterback, stunts and blitz, that can get to that quarterback so quick that, if it's more than 2.1 seconds, the ball got to come out of his hand real quickly. And I got 4 guys back in the secondary that can cover. So his value is going to be shown in 17 games. Mark that. So I love the signing.
I agree. I love that answer too. And like I was kind of saying, like I feel like this was very similar to the Nico, like a year prior, Nico Collins. Like, he was due for an extension. He had 1 year left on his rookie deal. He was drafted 2nd, 3rd round. He had some injuries early on, so his production wasn't quite that good. But, I feel like both guys this 3rd year kind of emerged, although Petrie got cut short. And my argument was I was pro, extending them on both contracts, but my argument was like yours, like, okay, like people like say, like, I've heard arguments with Petrie, like, okay, he can't cover, but like some people are saying like he needs to prove it again. He only played so many games, but like to me, it's like we saw it, bro. Like how many games? Like 12 games. Like we saw it. Like we don't need to see it again. Like yes, it was a new role, but that's where he was born to play. And to your point, like with Nico and with Petrie, like if we would have had Nico prove it again, he'd be 30+ mil a year. We got about 24 mil. So it should be similar to Petrie, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. And not to really talk about those guys up 45 North, but if Jerry would have signed Dak wouldn't be on the books for $75, $80 million this year. You waited to sign CD, and now you're dealing with the same thing with Michael Parsons. So you're going to have 3 guys that you got locked up, and you're going to lose a lot of other players. So Caserio is signing these guys early. They prove it, stay healthy. You can rework the deals. You can move on from them. And, like moving on from the Tonsil contract, we're still being able to like move and make deals that we're not. It ain't like that we move from Tonsil and we're like, man, we're done. We can't even sign anymore. Okay.
Because again, he was early. He did it with a year left. He got out ahead of the curve, right?
Right. And then you bring in somebody like nobody had EJ Speed on their radar to come down here at all. So that's a dual thing. If EJ should improve. Mulligetta is his agent. If Christian Harris is not 100% healthy and can't go, Aziz has one more year. Well, one more year, and then I think the team has the option the following year. Well, you get EJ for 1 year, $5 million, and then incentives. Still a pretty young linebacker. That's somebody that's coming into your system that you can plug in, and next year go back into the draft and get you another linebacker, because Tua showed you that he can take up the slack. So the thing about Caserio is he does things 2 years in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time we catch on to it, it's like, oh man, that's a smart thing. But if you look at his track record, he already started working on it like a year ago. We just catch up to it like a year later.
All the good GMs are forward thinking, like you're saying. Like Howie Roseman with the Eagles, he's forward thinking. Like you get these extensions done a year early, or like CJ Gardner-Johnson. Like although like I first I thought like that was a lopsided trade for us, but it kind of made sense for them. Like they knew they weren't going to extend him, so they might as well have traded him. And like whereas most teams, like you have on the opposite end, like you mentioned Jerry Jones, where they wait way too long and then they wait until they get into go through the contract year and then the price goes up. So that's awesome, man. It's good to have a forward-thinking GM. So it's not only going to be a good team now, but we should have sustained success for a while.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I'm gonna get P.A.T.T.O.N in here. Is there anything else you want to get off? Any takes, or obviously as well, shout out all your handles and good stuff like that.
Man, I'm just on Twitter right now, man. Like I'm really new to this, so. Shout out to AD on the H-Town Rundown for giving me my first opportunity on air. Knitty and P.A.T.T.O.N, they agreed to make me the third member, so I accepted that. So, being able to chop it up with you, Ruben, Harley, and, the rest of the guys out there in the community, I can't really think of everybody right now, but, it's just fun to talk sports, especially sports. And, I'm just going to drop down and listen to you and P.A.T.T.O.N, and then I guess you're going to bring us back up and we can just close this thing out. But, man, thank you for just even thinking about us to bring us on. And hopefully after the draft, we can do a post-draft wrap-up, and you can go right back down to the community and talk to everybody you did before. And because, I mean, your series was that was really authentic, and it was kind of like forward-thinking also. Like you had a lot of guys that I really wasn't familiar with, but after watching the show, I was like, oh, okay, let me follow him. Let me follow him. So I like what you did, where you was able to reach out and, share your followers and your people that follow you and everything. And you gave the man that's lower on the totem pole opportunity to be able to come and tap into your audience. So really appreciate that. Texans on 3, really appreciate that, bro.
For sure. I mean, like, and my whole perspective on this is like, the way I look at it is like, I kind of had like a crazy fast ascension, and like, I'm fortunate. So it's like, I'm trying to like spread the love. Like, I know there's people that are just as good, if not better, and everyone has their own avenue and stuff. So it's kind of like my duty to like, it's a family. Like, it's, to me, it's not competition. Like we're all on the same team, So it's like, I try to do my best to, highlight people, and I'm glad. And that was the whole, like you saying that makes me feel good, because that's my whole goal, is to help people be seen. And, everyone kind of likes different personalities. So, you can help find who fits your style,
Yeah. I'm gonna let you get the patent, but you said something that made me laugh. You made me something that made me laugh. You said I was born in 88. 88, I was going into my 10th grade year in high school. So that's just funny to me, man.
Well, that's good. See, so now we got a perspective, like, more of an OG. That's good. Like, see, a lot of shit I don't know. So that's good.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
All right, Cal. Well, I'm going to drop you in the lobby, and then I'll bring you back here in a minute, man.
All right, that's what's up, man.
All right, appreciate it. And last but not least, P.A.T.T.O.N, you still awake? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm laughing at Cal, man. Like, goddamn, man. I never say how old I am around Cal, because then if I do, I got to hear all the history lessons from Harriet Tubman to George Gervin. Like, but hey, that's my guy, man. I love him, man. What's good, my brother, man? Hey, what's going on, man? I ain't seen you in a minute, bro. How you
I
been?
know it's been a while. I know I try to tap into y'all's show whenever I'm on and interact, and sometimes it's more than others. But
Yeah,
when I do, it's always a good time. But yeah,
always.
it has been a minute. So y'all been doing good.
Man, bless, man, bless. Like everybody, we all go through our trials and tribulations, but as a collective, man, we good, man. Bless, bro. Bless and highly favorite.
That's very true, man. And that's what I like about this community that kind of like we're talking about. I mean, all of our interactions online, with fellow fans and creators, it seems to be mostly pleasant. And that's the whole point of it, right? It's like we love the Texans, so it's like a distraction from whatever else you got going on. You just lock in on this, and we can only hope that it continues to get better for us. So before we get into like the football talk, obviously we'll start off with like just getting to know you. If you don't mind, just give us a background on yourself and kind of gear it more so towards Texans or however you'd like to. Honestly,
Okay. Well, I am yours truly, Patton. You know what I'm saying?
mailman.
Like all day the streets. I've been a fan of this team since day one, like the average truther. Now I'll be honest, I wasn't into football as much growing up, as far as watching it. I would play it, not know what I'm doing. I have a fascination of contact. I love hitting people, so I was always willing to tackle and score touchdowns. But my first football game was John Elway with the Broncos when he I want to say, did they beat Green Bay? I believe I want to say they beat Green Bay.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was my first football game ever. And I didn't understand that, on Sundays is football, and that was a Super Bowl. So the next Sunday, I'm turning to that channel and I'm waiting for football, and I see I see Baywatch. I said, "What the hell is Baywatch?"
That's not a bad alternative.
Like, this is not what I came to look at, But I've been infatuated with this team since the inception. I really wasn't a big Oiler fan. Like I was aware of them, but I wasn't like the diehard Oiler fan, like people Cal age, so to speak. But just my infatuation with football as I got older, like it only makes sense to rep for the team that your home team, whether it's Texans, Rockets, Astros. When we had a hockey team, the Arrows, the Comets, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, and also the Dynamo, but just other than that, man, like I say, you guys know me as the mailman. I'm also an artist. I create music. Knitty is my producer, you know what I'm saying? My one-two guy. Hell, and well, if people don't notice, they finna learn it now. I am a diehard Michigan guy. So it's go blue.
Yeah, you got to tell me about that. What's the background on that?
So okay, I can't tell you what made me love Michigan. I just seen it.
Ex-girlfriend?
No, I now I am going to a game this year. I'm going to the big house this year for a couple of games. Awesome. But it started back in high school. I got a couple of offers from them. This is when Lloyd Carr was the head coach, and
oh damn,
yeah. So I screwed myself. My favorite football player is T.O. And because I'm trying to be like T.O. overall, like if to play on the field, it's the off the field antics. Like I'm taking on his personality, and those guys seeing that was like, no. And before I knew it, I had no idea I had a scholarship to go there, and they got pulled. So I was
damn,
like, yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah,
what position were you again?
I was a lineman, but I was on the scout team. I was always a tight end, so I was always lobbying to push tight end. Now I wasn't the fastest guy, but I had the best hands. Like I'm good in like quick space, 5 yard out. I'm killing you every time. Over the middle, I'm killing you every time. Lord forbid I get behind the coverage. It's a wrap.
But, love it, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like I say, like that, and I just forever love them. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, like, hey, here I am, mailman, artist, content creator. I'm also a chef on the side too. It's not much I
didn't know that. I'm learning a little bit today.
I'm telling you, look, it's not much I can't do, dog. So like, you guys need a catering, you know what I'm saying? Hit me up. I got you. Whatever you need.
Damn, that's good to know. I didn't know that. I'm about to take you up on that, man.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I mean, if y'all don't know, obviously Patton's the third of the Texans on three. And like I said earlier, like when I hop in their show, it's like family, bro. Like, you know, whenever I'm in the chat, like it's just we just pick up where we left off. So if y'all haven't, I would encourage y'all to watch it. I never asked y'all, but like, what are the set show times so people can kind of set their calendars for it?
So, and this is my fault. I've had some changes in the personal life, but we originally started at 9, but now we do it 7. Every Tuesday and Friday. Originally it was Tuesdays and Thursdays, but we moved to the Friday slot. It was originally 9, now it's 7. Um, things are constantly changing over here, you know what I'm saying? But we still make it a point to get the content to the people. So as of right now, going forward in the foreseeable future, it's gonna be Tuesday, Friday, 7 p.m. weekly.
Love it. Yeah, and like I said, I mean the show is super laid back, and you know the thing I like about the show is like I'm just by myself, like diatribe, or and now I have guests, but I'm sure it's boring like hearing a monologue. Like with y'all, it's cool because you can kind of, and I've been on your show a handful of times. It's like you know the back and forth, and you get different personalities too. Like I feel like each one of y'all has your own unique, you know, way of thinking, and I feel like, and honestly too, like whenever I like come on y'all show or other shows, and like there's actual dialogue, like that's when I like begin to like see things differently and sometimes can open my mind up to certain things. Like you've turned me on to certain stuff, you know, as far as like ideas or things that could happen. And yeah, so I would encourage, you know, to listen from that perspective. Like, you know, you can really, you know, start to think differently if that's what you're looking for. So um
I want to give a special shout out to all the guys. Oh, my dog, she on her patrol. I want to give a special shout out to all the guys that tune into our channel faithfully, into our bull ring. Yo, we got some of the best fans. Yo, like the main guy is Brandon, dog. Brandon.
Brandon.
Oh my, and Brandon's everywhere. Like I used to think that Brandon was only on our station, but he's on everybody's station, dude. Like I want to say Brandon got to be the top guy, period, when it comes to like being a fan in the comments. It's another guy I
The
want to give a
GOAT.
shout out to, Texas Tangent. I think I'm not. I hope that's his name. I hope I'm saying it right. Texas Tangent, Lackville, my guy Neptune, man. Like, and there's a lot of other people. Oh, Allen, and well, I know him as Chill, but you guys know him as Willie Jackson. But my guy Chill, like those guys, consistent every week, every day. Like if we coming on at 7:15 or 7:20, I'm getting a text message from one of those guys. Hey, what's going on? Y'all not going
That's
on?
awesome, man.
I'm telling you, like so, like the fans keep us like on our heels to produce and give to these guys. So I mean, and think about it, we are putting out so much and really not receiving a dollar just yet. 610.
No, but that's right. I mean, like, so to your point though, like, I mean, I think that's like why all of us get along so good in this community is we're
Yeah,
all doing this because we are passionate. Like, we're, you know, obviously we'd all love to get paid to do this, but like, it's because it's genuine and authentic. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be this way, but most of us here are born and raised in Houston. We
yeah,
just love Houston, like everything about it. Like you mentioned, every sports team, every team that will come or that was here, like, we love all Houston sports, so it's genuinely authentic, and it is good to hear from a fan's perspective. And I think it's great too, like the way technology has been that has allowed us to even do this now. I mean, like years ago, this would have been like impossible or would have cost you a bunch of money, but like
yeah,
the accessibility, like this is dope, dude. Like, and I think fans as a whole benefit because a lot of people like us on here can share our, you know, unique individual opinions, and like I feel like we have become like a smarter fan base. Like our fans know their shit, bro. Like
yeah.
y'all were just on with AD and the H-Town Rundown. Shout out those guys. Are like, you know, everyone on there knows ball. Y'all know ball. Like there's a lot of in-depth conversations, and I think that's pretty cool. So, you know, I'm sure you love that too.
I'm still mad at AD because that goddamn mock draft we did. I don't know why in the hell we took a running back with the 25th. Like I'm still hot about that,
That shit had me stressing, dude.
dude. I don't know if you could have seen me over here in the little box when y'all was going on, but I was outside.
Yeah, I saw you.
Half a pack of cigarettes, bro. I'm still pissed about that shit.
So that's a good topic. Tell me why we shouldn't draft the running back in the first round, and then if we do draft the running back, like what would be the earliest you would want to take one?
Okay, I'm not taking a running back in the. Okay, there are no running backs in this draft that are generational talent. Like there are no can't miss running backs. These guys are all good, above average, and at best scheme fit. All right.
That includes Ginty,
Genty is the unicorn. I mean, if people
but
like him,
he's top 10.
I mean,
He's
yeah. If I'm a team like the Cowboys that need a running back the most, that makes sense. If I'm a team like the Raiders, if a certain quarterback isn't there, it makes sense. If I'm a team like the Giants, if he's there, and it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But those three teams, like, I don't see him being. I don't see him thriving there at all. Like all these running backs are scheme fits, all of them. One of the guys I took a liking to the most, Caleb Johnson from Iowa. You know, I said on AD show on the joint screen with AD and the guys and the woman Miss Warren. Um, he reminds me of Aaron Foster so much, and it's because our one runs the zone scheme. The same thing we ran when Kubiak was here. Like if we were to run that again, or another thing too, we don't know what we running. We don't know.
That's true.
So
That's a good point.
it's like we when it comes to drafting players offensive wise, we are all looking at guys we think are that we take a liking to. We don't know what we're running. We don't. So when the draft comes and goes, I'll be able to sit there and evaluate. Okay, you took this guy, this guy, this guy. What are these guys good at? That's going to give me a general idea of what we're trying to do offensively. But
I love it.
25 pick, the 25th pick, if he's there, two guys. Either you go with Banks from UT or you go with Matthew Golden. If both guys are gone, I would still go receiver if he's there. And he's not a favorite pick of mine, but we need a receiver. I will go with Luther Burton or CJ's guy from Ohio State, Ibuka.
Emeka Ibuka.
Yeah, Ibuka. Like, hey, Black Panther. But I can't get you guys' name right for the life of me. But if that's the first pick, right? The first two picks are going to be offense. So, barring we go with receiver or tackle with that first pick, that next pick has to be, let's say the first pick is Matthew Golden, right? Knock on wood.
I would love that.
If Matthew Golden is our 25th, our first pick, that next pick has to address the offensive line. Assuming Banks will be gone. Shout out to my guy John Hickman. He's been beating the table for this guy.
Shout out, John.
He's been beating the table for Conley. And I kind of brushed over him because I'm more so on my guy from is it North Dakota State?
Gray Zabel.
Yeah, him. Also the guard from I think it's Ratliff or
Ratledge from Georgia.
Yeah, him. Yeah.
But he's like going like in the third.
I believe it's going to be a quick run on the guards. Well, it's going to be a quick
so
run.
He could go late second.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Him. Now, if he's not there, okay, let's get a little freaky. Pause. Now I'll go with, because I'm pretty sure Caleb Johnson will be there. I will roll with Caleb. Because he's going to be a guy that's going to be a true sleeper. Like, and if we pick him, that lets me know, okay, we running zone scheme, which means Pierce is going to be primarily kickoff return, and where we draft the offensive alignment is going to fit that scheme primarily.
Yeah, and so like my inkling is like I suspect we run more gap scheme based off of Kaylee. Like, you know, like we can like hypothesize whether it's going to be Rams offense or Patriots, but the Rams traditionally were like a zone scheme coming from the Shanahan tree, but McVay and Kevin O'Connell have shown that they can adapt from zone to gap based off their personnel. And then just listening to D'Amico talk and Kaylee talking about adapting to your own personnel. Like we all saw it last year, like, you know, Slowick comes in, only knows one scheme, which is zone scheme. You have O linemen that are not zone scheme blockers. And like Kaylee said, his presser, we were trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. So that just tells me like we'll run gap scheme. So, but regardless, that's also why this draft is kind of intriguing in my opinion, is, you know, the offseason and this draft, like the kind of guys we get can kind of help us start to visualize what Kaylee envisions doing with the offense as well. So I got to say, too, I apologize. I didn't have the chat up at all. We got a bunch of comments I have not been shouting out. I feel terrible. Shout out Larry, Engineer, Joseph, all the usuals, Brandon. I'll start throwing them up on the screen, but I'm tripping, man. I apologize for that, guys. But
Good. Now I'm gonna throw this one out there. This is a guy I've been pounding the table for, damn near breaking my table for. When it comes to tight end, my guy Luke Lacey from Iowa.
okay.
I keep telling guys, yo, this guy here is gonna be a late round pick. He's gonna be a sleeper. He's the sleeper. He's not gonna wow you with his 40 time. He's not gonna wow you with running past people, but he will run through some people and run over some people. I feel like next to Loveland from Go Blue, he has the best hands, the most consistent hands. Now, production wise, poor. Why? Because poor quarterback play. Iowa, they run the ball. They're more of a run heavy team. They run the ball. So he's one of those guys that benefits. His numbers benefit from play action boot or what is it? They got to pass on certain downs. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a 3rd and 12, 2nd and 11. It's a passing down. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha,
So
yeah.
he's getting the ball
passing down.
Now, our tight ends, i.e. Dalton Schultz, does not block, won't block, can't block, don't know how to block. He just out there. This guy here, not only is a willing blocker, he will run your ass over. I'm telling you, he is a problem to deal with. Now, he had a little health problem early in his career at Iowa, but as time progressed, he got better. And, hey, he's that guy. If he would have been with a team that had a better quarterback play, we talking about maybe tight end 2, tight end 3, if not tight end 1, because, well, he's not better than Loveland. I'll put it to you like that. He's not better than Loveland. But if Kaylee is the tight end whisperer like I've heard, this would be the perfect guy to get in the late round and blow the fucking door off the hinges. I'm telling you.
I love it, dude. And Iowa has a pretty good reputation for producing good tight ends, right? So I mean, and that's a good point too. Like
that's tight end you.
Yeah, but you also make a good point too. Like we get so fixated on stats and this and that. Like that shit don't matter, bro. Like there's a lot of variables, like the scheme you're in, the offense you're in, the quarterback play. I mean, like I saw people kind of pointing that out with Matthew Golden, like, oh, he didn't even have 1,000 yards receiving. Like, oh yeah, like if Quinn Ewers would have hit him on one of 40 different passes, he would have been over 1,000 yards. So like,
easily.
And like honestly, like they didn't even involve him in the offense until it mattered in the playoffs, and he balled the hell out. So it's like, I feel like that's a good reminder. We kind of fixate on some stuff too much sometimes, and it's almost like the combine numbers too. I mean, like the RAS scores that like do like the relative athletic score, which based off your height and weight and all your measurables. So I guess that's a question for you.
The only thing, and I stopped watching the combine a couple of years ago because people like to watch it like who has the fastest 40 or who caught the ball the best or what the guys who are throwing who threw the ball the best. Like it's very, very bad. Like for a newcomer to watch the combine, you don't know what you're looking at. You really don't. Now for me, the most important thing in combine for me, now where I'm at with it, far as like I consider myself a scout now. I like to know what you can do far as bench press, 225. How strong are you? That's number one for me with any position, all positions. I need to know how strong are you. And number two, I don't care about 40 or the long jump or the lunge and all that. What's your cone? Like the cone drill? How quick do you get to this spot to that spot? How quick are you in the short space? That lets me know how strong you are and how good are your footwork. What can I do with you? And that goes a long way for all positions. Now, most importantly, the pro days. Now, the pro days, you may have a better 40 time and have a better 40 time, but as far as a quarterback, receiver, you're comfortable with your guys. So, of course, the throw is going to come out more crispy. The route's going to be more crispy. You know what I'm saying? But what it all boils down to is film. Eye in the sky don't lie. When you got some guys that are on these big teams that have subpar games against subpar competition. Then you have these guys that are on subpar teams that have good games against elite competition. These are things you have to look at. Now you may like watch an hour, right? I watch our, they're in the same conference as Michigan, and I happen to see these guys every year. Now I watch a few of their games because I've been looking for a tight end, and I know ours tight end. You watching our just for that tight end, the safety Castro, the linebacker Higgins, of course Jalen Johnson. They are these guys have popped off camera to me on film, you know. And when you're looking at a certain guy, you're gonna always see other guys on that team that's have a good play here, a good play there. You know what I'm saying? That catches your attention. So I can only imagine how a guy that's getting paid to scout, how crazy that can be, you know?
Yeah, it's got to be tough. I mean, I've thought about that too. Like, I do the same thing. Like, we all do the same thing. We watch a certain guy, and another guy jumps out. Like, it's got to be tough to like watch only that player and kind of not get distracted. But I guess you kind of hear scouts say too, though, like when you are watching one player and you can't help but notice another player, then like that's
That's a good
probably a
thing.
damn good player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Man, I'm
thing.
excited. So like, obviously, it feels like you feel pretty good about the offseason. And so I guess with the draft, you kind of touched on names that you would like in the first round. Do you suspect too? Like, part of what's funny to me is like I'm ready for it to get here because we spend so much time scouring
Yeah.
names and scenarios. But and then the other point is like we keep projecting based off these rounds, but we know Casario is a madman. He's a wild card. Do you project that he trades? And if so, what's a trade you could see him making?
If he were to pull off that CJ and Will Anderson trade again this draft, so before I make this statement, this draft will be a offensive heavy draft. You have to give Nick Caley his toys. You have to cater to his needs. So that way, can't no one say, "Hey, I didn't have this or I didn't have that to be successful." So I feel like the first three picks, maybe four, will be offensive heavy. Um, as far as defensive picks go, we may get a D lineman and we more than likely get a cornerback or a DB. But I believe if Nick doesn't trade up, he's going to trade back. And I'm leaning more so towards trading up. For him to trade up, if he's going to trade up, it will be for Matthew Golden.
I agree.
If he trades up. And depending on if he still has the 25th pick or however he makes it work, I'm pretty sure if he keeps 25th and trades up wherever he trades up to, depending on how the draft goes, he's going to get Matthew Golden and he's going to get his offensive tackle. Those are going to be the first. Those are going to be the first two picks in the first round. Now, what he has to give up to do that, I don't want to see it. Jesus, I don't want to see it because that's going to.
But do you though? I mean, like, because we're in a position where we don't need a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, how much value can you have in multiple third round picks and fifth round picks and seventh round picks? Like, you might as well. It's like so. That's like the thing is like, would you rather have like two or three like solid contributors or like one and then like a bunch of like maybes? I mean, and I'm sure like I say that too, but like you look at like the third round picks he's had, they've been better than maybe. So
he
it's
hits.
just funny. It's funny you said that because I was working out earlier. I don't know why I said that, but I was working out and I haven't been doing it much. But I was thinking about this shit, and I was like, you know what? Like this motherfucker could just trade up. Like he's shown us that he did it with Will Anderson Jr. Like we're all worrying about like okay, but like, and I thought like who does he want? Like they want Matthew Golden. I was like I could see that. But I thought they would still stay at 25, and I'm thinking they're going to get Golden and Booker as a high possibility. Is what I was thinking. You haven't mentioned his name. You don't seem like you're high on Booker.
Well, it's AD's fault. AD says Booker is another Kenyon Green, so blame it on AD. I feel like with guard, the guys you brought in are serviceable. You have Juice. In my personal opinion, Patterson is your center and Juice is your right guard. So it leaves a competition for the left guard. Now you brought in Ingram and you brought in Tomlinson. If I had to throw a line out there right now for as starting my left guard, I would say Ingram because he's more nastier. You know, he's one of those linemen they don't take no shit. He's not the best lineman in the world, but you need a guy that ain't gonna take no shit, and that's Ingram. I know. Big Sarge. Big Sarge is watching. I know he was like, I don't like Ingram. He had that. Hey, the honest guy don't lie. Ingram don't take no shit. Okay, at all. The left tackle position, man, is the most important. Like, I'm gonna lean towards the left tackle before I lean towards a guard. Me personally, because we have, in my personal opinion, one of the top 10 as of right now, top 10 QBs in the league. And by the end of next season, if the draft goes where it needs to go, CJ will be in that conversation for us, top 5, not top 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to protect his blind side. Now, you don't have to get this all-world guy. And once again, shout out to John Hickman. I'm really leaning towards Conley. I really am. I really, really am. If I can't get Banks, and I feel like Banks is going to be one of those guys that's going to start at guard, maybe in training, and work his way to tackle. If you go back to, and this is Texas history right here, people. If you guys remember when we had we drafted Dwayne Brown out of Virginia Tech, him and Ephraim Salam, they rotated each series until Dwayne Brown was ready to stand on his own.
He was a tight end, wasn't he in college? He was a converted tight end, like not his whole career, but former tight end.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So he wasn't like day one left tackle in college.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He had to work his way to it, but he had all the potential in the world, and he was all. Hey, if we would have kept him, which we should have kept him, Dwayne Brown would, in my personal opinion, would have went to the Hall of Fame quicker than a little bit. He should have retired here, but Dwayne Brown was like that rookie year. He went through hell. Most left tackles do, but as time went by, man, that guy was a solid lockdown fucking left tackle, like
for sure.
And not just in the pass game, but in the run game also. You know what I'm saying?
Like the Mauler.
Like dude, with Tonsil, I tell guys all the time, Tonsil is the best pass protecting left tackle in the game. But that's it. Trent Williams is the best overall left tackle. He does it all. You got guys
that's hard to argue.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I feel like with Banks, he is a guy that I feel like personally that can develop into that Dwayne Brown if given time.
What's crazy is like the amount of tackles that are projected to play guard that could go back to tackle. Like they have a lot of versatility, I guess, and they seem to value that.
Zabel.
Yeah, well, Zabel can play all 5, I believe, and then I mean, I think both the O linemen from Ohio State can both play guard and tackle. I mean, Banks can play guard and tackle. Mimbo, I know he's earlier projected, but
Mimbo be gone. I wouldn't touch Simmons though because he's
maybe they trade up for Mimbo.
The hell no.
I'm just saying, like I started to think like we could be all thinking this and that, and then Cassera just pull some crazy shit.
No. Some players it's not gonna work. I feel like Nimble, he's one of those guys that he excelled where he excelled at, and once he gets to the league, these guys that pass rush are going to eat his lunch.
But so my thinking is like I think right guard needs to be filled, and I think one of those veterans will play left guard. Like, and I'm thinking like if they draft a lineman in the first round, they're gonna want someone that can plug and play and start at that position right away. So that's why I think it's Booker. And I think also because of that swarm box, like he's like the epitome of the character. Like they really value that swarm shit, dude, especially in the draft. Like maybe in free agency they'll kind of stray away and take a risk, but like in the draft they don't mess around. Like especially early rounds, you have to be that type of guy. I mean, you look at CJ, you look at Will, you look at Kamari. Like all these guys are that kind of personality. So that's how I've kind of landed. Like I think it's Booker, bro, at 25.
No, I'm not mad at you. Like, and I actually can find myself agreeing because whoever is at that 25 pick, they're gonna have to be a plug and play guy.
They got to start right now. We need production right now.
Like once you take your little picture with the jersey, hey, smile, cry, you cry a little bit. Once you step your ass off stage,
time to work.
Time to go. I'm gonna know where you're living at because I'm bringing your mail to you. But it's time to go.
We don't have enough time for a project. And I'm not saying those guys are, but like maybe there is some risk moving one of these tackles like Banks or Connerly, from tackle to guard. I mean, maybe they're perfect, but like for sure, Booker, SEC, captain, all that stuff, high production, highest level at right guard has held it down. Like, so that's the less risk, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
That's why you bring in what's my guy, Trent Brown, and that's why you bring in a guy like Cam Robinson. You bring in bridge players to give that rookie that chance to sit back, like going back to the Dwayne Brown when he was a rookie, Ethan Salam. Those guys rotate each series. One series, Ethan Salam will start the game. The next series, Dwayne. Next series,
can we do that right now though?
You have the guys to do so.
But like, do we want to rotate in a
Do
rookie
you
at
want
left
to?
tackle?
No, you don't want to. No, you do not want
That's
to.
what I'm saying. So like, that's where I'm kind of leaning toward like that tackle guard, like maybe get one of those in the second or third that we can develop into our tackle. Because it seems like right now, like between Trent Brown and Cam Robinson, like one of those guys has to be the left tackle. And then like, I don't know, it's just so many options. Like at the very least, they've given themselves options. Like if those guys don't pan out, we could always kick Titus back to left tackle and then Fisher back to right. Like there's a bunch of shit they could do.
Now that's gonna be the Rubik's Cube. What do you do with Howard and Fisher? Fisher's it was crazy because both guys can play both tackle positions. I would rather have Howard at his natural position, which is right tackle, and I would like to have Fisher at left tackle. Now, if those are my tackles, then I'm confident and secure with going with Booker at 25. Barring if that Nick trades up and go gets Golden. This is with Nick trading up going to get Golden. And when he gives away for us to trade up for Golden, he gives away the first round pick for next year. You're gonna have to. In order for him to keep 25 this year.
But no, I mean, Golden, like his average draft position is like 20 roughly. Like, and I was looking at it earlier, like whoever's at 20 is the Broncos, I believe, and they need a wide receiver. Like if he falls to 19, we could trade with the Bucks. And and supposedly to trade up, from 25 to 19, it's like
it's not bad.
It would be your pick plus like a second or a third. So if we didn't trade our pick this year, then it could be a first next year, or it could be 2/3.
Yeah.
Or you could trade a player, dude. Like the Bucks need a linebacker, you could trade Christian Harris.
Oh shit.
That's all. I was trying to like go through these exercises a day. I'm trying to think of like some crazy shit that no one's thinking about.
So speaking of Christian Harris, I'm one of the few people that believe that he had an Achilles injury, and they kind of took, they meaning the team and him, they took the Kenyon Green route. Go play through it and see, can you play through it and see if it will heal on its own. And he came out to practice one day and went right back in the hub and right back in the tent, and we never seen him until the end of the season. Now, if it is an Achilles injury, like, get that taken care of. Like, he's not going to go anywhere. He's one of those guys where he has to prove that he's worth an extension, and this is his last year's contract. So if he's not healed up, let's say he goes out there training camp again, just like last year, and he actually tears an Achilles or rupture it, then yeah, I would bring him back on a 1-year deal, veteran minimum, prove it. Because he, potentially wise, he is a game changer. You don't just give up on a guy like that. You don't just throw him away. Give you a couple of dollars, go get healed up, and we see what you do next year. But if we can't trade with the Bucks, I'm okay with giving away a first round pick for next year. I'm okay with that. If it's going to give me two first round picks this year, and we know they both go on offense, I'm okay with that. And I feel like maybe you give away a first round pick, and they keep your 25.
And hopefully the pick's like 32 anyways, so.
You do. But wait, there's more. It don't have to be next year's first round. It could be, 25, 26. It could be 27's first round pick.
Yeah. And you expect to be good, so you expect that to be like a 25 through whatever.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you never know with these things, man. But I know Nick is a very, very cerebral guy, and it's very hard. I'm going to tell you real quick. I met Nick one day when he first got here. This was the COVID season when Nick got here. I met Nick at he came to my post office, and nobody knew who he was. He was just blended in, and I just happened to be I'm going to my boss office to talk to her about something, and I said, "Oh shit, that's Nick." And I said, "Hear me." So I come out the back. I'm Nick. Hey, Nick. He was like, hey, can you help me? I said, no, I can't. I'm a carrier. But I want to shake. I shake his hand. I said, Nick, you're gonna do great things here. All right, remember me. And this is before I had this. This is probably like up here, like there was no hang time. Okay, so, but Nick is like he's one of those guys where like he's all smile and he but he's like thinking 10 steps ahead of everybody. Like he's very, very cerebral. Very.
Yeah, no, I love it. Well, hey, I'm gonna get Cal back in here, and we'll just wrap it up with like a couple little more discourse and let you guys get in your way. I know Cal's been in the lobby patient. Enjoyed the combo there. Get to some comments if we got any in the chat. Appreciate y'all tuning in with the chat. But
man, shout out to my guy Larry Payton, man. That's my guy.
Larry's awesome, man. Me and Larry have some good dialogue too, and like to my point earlier, like everyone has their own opinions. Like Larry, he'll put me on certain stuff sometimes, and
let me tell you,
it's just fun to have discourse, man.
I know we didn't get to it this particular draft season, but man, look, next draft season, me and Larry will have our own show. Just me and Larry, brains going at it. Pause. Like Larry sees the game the way I see the game, and like it's not every day you come across people that view things the way you view things, like the exact same way. And for me, Larry's one of those guys, man. So I don't. Hey, one day, Larry, man, you got to go out for drinks, man. Like me, you got to. Hey, we got to lock in, bro. We got to lock in.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, so I really don't got much more. I know it's getting late. I guess if there's, I guess I can do like one last question. If there's one player, and y'all can go, Kyle, you can go first, and Patton, you can go next. If there's one player that you want the Texans to get, no matter what in the draft, no matter what round, who would it be?
Oh, damn!
You want me to go first?
Yeah, it's on you, Cal. I got to think about this one.
Damn. Hey, mine's an easy one, man. I think you can get him in the 4th round.
Who?
I think it's save you.
4th round? Is he dropping?
Well, I mean, they got him 3rd round, something.
Me at 3rd, late 3rd.
Yeah.
If Caserio likes you, especially, he's made moves to move up and get wide receiver. And
that's right.
Thing about Caserio is you got to think that 1.5, 2 years, I think it was like that. But I know one of the years when the New England Patriots had got Randy Moss, Caserio was the wide receivers coach. So that guy is really big on wide receivers. That's why he moved up to get Tank, Nico. Like, if it's somebody out there that he feel like is talented,
go and get him.
He's going to go and get it. Like, and to move up to get a 3rd, you're probably going to give up. You're going to swap your 3rd round pick and maybe a future 4th or one of the 6th round pick, later picks this year. But it'll be a guy that you want. And the reason why I say Savion is because, I mean, we had did a show, Texans on 3 show, probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And Savion can line up in the backfield, slot, wide out. Like, he's a weapon that you would love to have because of his size, speed, and his ability to break tackles. If you got him on the field with Nico, like, it's a lot of things that can happen. So say that. Look, I do care what happens, but if we walk away with Savion, I'm gonna be a happy Texan fan.
Good to know. If we take him, I'll be thinking about you, Cal. I'll shoot you a DM. Check in on you. You got one yet, Patton?
Man, it's hard, dog. Like, god damn.
I'll go. And
I want to put a list in there, but I'm not. You got to throw Cal.
Hey, I'm here.
What you say, Cal?
Pat, it's gonna be a Marion Hampton. You're gonna be happy when we draft him.
In the 3rd. He's lighting one up.
What
I'll
you
go
got?
ahead. I'll do one, and this is contingent upon that we don't get Matthew Golden, which I think we might get, but it's just a player, and Larry shouted him out. But Kyle Williams, I've been high on him since the jump. So I've followed Cam Ward in his career since Incarnate Word to Washington State to Miami. So I first saw him a couple years ago when Cam was his teammate at Washington State, and I knew this guy was legit. But he's been rising up draft boards, but he's still a special talent. I feel like he's a great fit positional wise, great speed, great release package. I don't know if I need to say pause there or not. I kind of hesitated. Pause on that, but yeah, he's got a great route tree. I feel like he'd be a great fit. So I'm real high on him.
Well,
all right, Pat, you got your mind made up yet?
all right. So going through my notes, man. I'm looking at guys.
Pause.
And
Big pause.
Yeah, pause.
Marion Hampton.
So, I'm gonna make sure I can. If I gotta, okay. I'm just gonna be biased. Right?
Go for it.
Loveland, tight end from Go Blue.
That's fine. Yeah, let us know.
We don't need him. We don't. But I would love to have him because I feel like Loveland is he's a faster, more active Dalton Schultz. Like, granted, in Michigan, my guy had to block. He wasn't the best blocker, but he's a willing blocker. Anyway, in Michigan, to be on the field, you have to block. That's a run first team. You know what I'm saying? So he's a Dalton Schultz that's willing to block.
Hey, but here's the point too. Like you said, we don't need him, but like I've kind of thought with that lens for a while. Like, but ever since this offseason, like when they've shown like they're willing to move on from anybody at any given time, I've now have to like open my mind to be like, shit that I don't think they would do or could happen now. Like if they find an upgrade, they could get him and then move on with Schultz. I know it doesn't make sense right now, but like there is financially they could move on from him and save money. It would have to be a post June 1st trade, but like I can see them doing that. That loyalty shit's out the window. So like, I mean, I wouldn't say no. You know, I wouldn't be surprised.
The only way, if we were somehow to able to draft Schultz, Loveland, Schultz is out of there somehow, some way. Schultz might get traded during the draft if that was to happen. But the reason why I say it won't happen because the team before us, the Chargers, that's Harbaugh's guy. He's gonna pick him.
That's true.
They need a tight end, and Harbaugh is. I mean, my coach. He's gonna pick his guys.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. That's all I got. I mean, I appreciate y'all tuning in. That was dope. Yeah. Hopefully, I'd love to come on y'all's show maybe after the draft or something. But it's always good to chop it up.
You gotta pull up, man. You gotta pull up, man.
Yeah, let me know, man. I'm there. Just let me know. Anything else before we go? Y'all want to mention or anything like that?
I'm gonna go to the taco truck.
I appreciate you having us on. Like I said, I enjoyed the series, and
it's not over yet.
You did the pre-draft. I like for you to, possibly run it back the post-draft with everybody that you had on. I enjoyed everybody that you had on. So, it's cool to see us be, predictors of who we think that's going to be drafted, and you watch the show, and then after the draft, you see the commentary on how, hey man, I think I really like that guy. Pat gonna say, man, I really like Marion Hampton. I really like that guy. So you're gonna see stuff like that, man.
Not at 25. Not at 25.
We're gonna delete all the history. We're gonna edit it and splice it to make it.
Hey, stressing. Just run it back, man. You got the connects.
Yeah.
Run it back with everybody that you had on, like post draft, and do a rapid fire type of thing, man, and just bring everybody back on, and let us. Just vent on how it is, man. But other than that, great experience, bro.
Yeah, that's dope. So my goal is to I still have like a list of people that I've reached out to and some that I haven't, like Swan's in the chat. I would love to have her and the rest of the H-Town rundown on there. So there's still a lot of people I haven't gotten to, so yeah, but no, I agree. That would be dope too. You just gave me an idea of like one day just doing like a super rapid fire one. It's like a 5 minute and have like 20 people in a row. That would be like a really cool thing, and have everybody's like a big like subathon or something, like subscribe to
You gotta have
something
a
like
button for Cal and Knitty. When 5 minutes hit, like a horn go off because they're gonna
Hey man, but that's why I like this format here. Like rather than have all three on at the same time, is like I want people to get a chance to hear each person and get to know them and like listen to the way they talk and think. So that's kind of my idea behind it. So I love it. I mean, it's easy for me. Like I ask a question, just go.
Oh yeah,
cool.
this was fun, man. This was very, very fun.
Yeah.
It's been a long day of potting, but it's been a great day of potting. Hey, one more thing before we get up out of here. Remember, everybody that's here listening, remember, we don't know what Nick Caley's going to do, but after the draft, that's going to entail what type of offense we're actually going to run. I promise you. I'm gonna sit down. Whoever we draft, hey, I already got my notes on, so it's not really. I'm not just going to my notes to pick out. Okay, this guy's good at this, that, and third. He's not good at that. I'm gonna know. So after the draft, pull up to the show, man. Texas on 3.
Yes, sir. I'll be tuned in for sure. But I agree. I can't wait, man. But that's all I got. I'm in the stream. Y'all can stay in the lobby here, and we can say our goodbyes. But appreciate y'all tuning in, everyone in the chat, and I'll be live tomorrow with another guest. I need to check. I think it might be Big Sarge. I'm not sure.
Oh, hey, hold on, Big Sarge. If you here, listen, you long overdue, man. Pull up, brother.
I need to check my notes. The way I operate, I'm so
Big Sarge and John. Matter of fact, look, stressing. The last time I seen you, John told me, "Hey, man, during the summertime, off season, I got you." John, it's the off season. It ain't summertime, but it's off season. Pull up.
John's a great guy. He's got you, man.
That's my guy, man. With the high school with him.
Oh, dope. I didn't know that. All right, fellas. I'm in the stream here. I'll stay in the lobby, but thank y'all for tuning in.